guys, Michael Ketchen here with another episode of the Michael Ketchen Show, joined as always by Matthew Hitchcock.
How's it going?
And one of my favorite new friends, business owners, entrepreneurs, cigar aficionado, Zack Photakis. How we doing, Zack?
Fantastic, Mike.
Now, let me kick it off right away. Dude, you kidding me? We've been dying to get you on here.
I know. It's amazing, right?
Be pumping this ego up. This is going to be like the ultimate sales plug for
this
about
is great.
30
We get
minutes.
free cigars. And
I mean, this is great. What are we smoking here? Tell us about what we're smoking here.
So this was a cigar that was crafted by Steve Saka, Dumbarton Tobacco and Trust.
One of the best out there, yep.
Absolutely. He's been in the business a long time, has a palate like no other. And I'd hit him up. Our 75th anniversary, the Owl Shop in Worcester was coming up. Needed to do something special, and this was the guy for the job. So crafted this. It's a unique smoke. The binder on it's San Andreas Mexican, the wrapper Ecuadorian Habano. So you get like a medium to a little bit medium plus taste, but it's really expansive, as it goes through the cigar. And ironically enough, we sold through everything we had. And at that point, in talking with Steve at 4 o'clock in the morning in a parking lot at a country club, he says, you got to make more, and they don't have to come to me, get them to everybody. So he does a line of cigars every year called the Muestra de Saka. They're very specific, released once a year, and then they continue on regular production. So this actually now is called the Bewitched, which is on the shelf. Yeah. And the Bewitched thing's kind of interesting because while they were producing the cigars in the factory, we have the owl shop. Well, in Nicaraguan folklore, the owl is a symbolic of being technically a witch. It could be a good witch, it could be a bad witch. And
I'd say it's a great witch.
That's the thing, you know what I mean? And so it's kind of a perplexing blend too. So it all comes together. So it's been a really good thing. But yeah, these were produced in 2021, so we got a little time on them.
Get out of here.
And here we are, smoking the last few of them.
Well, thank you for sharing. And I know me and Matt have already enjoyed many times over at the Owl Shop in Windham, New Hampshire. And
even our wives, which are generally speaking not cigar people.
Oh, my God. Shout out to Amy and Hannah, just being absolute savages. My man Zach was like, how's the airflow? And they're like, my hair.
Well, that might have been a little more Hannah, but.
Yeah, but no, it's amazing. And I'm trying to think I can take this so many different directions, but I think I will say the first thing that stands out, and I wanted to have you on for a lot of reasons. Obviously the cigars, obviously being a business owner,
Sure.
But what Zach does for everybody out there, regardless of what industry it is, along with his partner, Sean, hospitality transcends industries. Doesn't matter if it's a hotel, if it's a restaurant, if it's a meal, if it's a country club, if it's a cigar shop. And what you guys have really nailed, and why I was so fascinated the first time I walked in, is you guys' hospitality is at a level that you usually do not see in cigar shops, especially in cigar shops in America. Europe, a little bit more, but really in America, you guys are filling this niche that I have found as someone who's an aficionado who smokes a lot of places and travels a lot. You guys make everyone feel welcomed. You know what you're doing, and it is just red carpet service from the moment you walk in. Was that kind of the vision when you decided to do this? I mean, where does that come from? Is that just being in the business as long as you guys have been?
I mean, you have to back the truck up and think about what cigars actually are, right?
Okay.
So a vice, maybe.
Yep.
They're certainly not needed. But every time you go ahead and you buy a cigar, you trade back your money to retain your time again. You go to work, you put in some time and hours, and you get paid for that. A cigar you can go ahead and light, and it's a time out for yourself, which is super important. At the same time, spending money is rewarding yourself for the time you've also spent. So it's hard to feel good about spending money nowadays, where everything's just so available and you don't get that actual pause to relax.
Yeah.
And that's worth enormous amounts of money. So for us, we want to have the best selection that we can and curate it constantly. We want to provide that customer service, getting everybody what they're looking for. And then to complement that, it's to have you want to come back. And if you can walk out feeling good and you took a time out, then we're going to be a successful business. A lot of the world's problems have been started and solved in smoke-filled rooms. And ultimately, there's a culture there, as you know, that can't be matched for most places that you can go. So it was really important to just have a a bug light, so to speak, that people would be attracted to and would continually come and support.
I love that.
That's an amazing way of looking at it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, just think about even in our own industry, and that's what I meant. Like hospitality and customer service is everything, and especially in an industry that is making a bit of a resurgence, I think. And it's like you said, you can't rush a cigar. It's something you can enjoy. I mean, we do it before business, probably giving away a little inside baseball, but when I want to meet with a new potential investor, or an investor wants to meet with me, a coaching client, a lot of times we will sit down, we'll have a cigar. What they don't realize is 90 minutes of smoking together, I'm going to know a lot about you.
Correct. Yep.
And it's going to make us slow down. Maybe too much. Yeah, it's going to make us slow down. But truly, you know, and that's where it's like, I feel like, I don't know if that's the right word, but I almost feel like what you guys do in Al Shop in some ways is almost nostalgic. Like, I feel like it's kind of like stepping back in a time machine where you walk in and you're greeted. They read the room right away. I mean, like little cool things that, again, you didn't know what I was going to tell you today, right? Giving you all these compliments. You had no idea this was coming. I walked in the other day. I walked in, I think it was last week, whatever it was. I had a friend in town. And one of your regular bartenders working, shout out to Michelle. And I hadn't had a chance to order yet. You know, getting in there, you're getting settled, his first time in. I come back to the table, and right away, there's 2 waters. There's my coffee already on the table with a lighter and a cutter. I didn't say anything. I didn't order anything. They just knew when I come in, that's the seat I sit in, that's the table I have. And it's like those little things, like, and what was the saying I heard the other day? I think it was my Angelo. People might not remember what you say. They might not remember what you do, but they'll always remember how you make them feel.
Right.
And if I butcher that quote, I'm sorry. But that's exactly what I feel when I go in there. And now you've got a loyal customer for life. I know your family was in the industry for a long time. Mm-hmm. Was that kind of something inbred in you at a young age?
Way too young an age. You know? Those tiny hands can pack tobacco really efficiently, you know. But yeah, no, I grew up in the store. I got my diapers changed in there.
That's awesome.
It's always been a fabric and a part of my life. And, you know, it will continue to be. You can't get away from that type of thing. Watch the industry change drastically up and down, cigar boom, so forth and so on. Companies come and go. And, you know, the one thing that's synonymous is the culture, the people that come in for this type of thing.
Yep.
So it's funny, you know, after closing down the shop in Worcester, it was heartbreaking, but needed to be done. And now we have a customer base up here that reminds me a lot of these other people. It's like that bizarro world of Seinfeld episode, you know. This is my new George Costanza.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's really, really cool. You know, to see that transcendence, you know, and changeover. And, you know, to go from an old canoe, you know, and just really old school nitty gritty, full blown tobacconist to what we have now, which kind of pays homage to the old school, but new school. And we're just having a ball with it. It's like fun to go to work.
Oh, I think so.
Every day,
it's fun to go spend money at your work. So
listen, you know, we're going to keep it fun for you to do that. Absolutely. No, it's a fantastic thing for sure. And
yeah, I was also going to say too, I mean, I think, again, shouting out to Michelle, I think that they paired their cocktails very well with all the cigars. It's just not a generic cocktail menu. Like it's definitely like fine tuned. So that you want to hang out and be there for a bit.
Yeah, and that's actually a perfect segue because obviously we're partners. Hannah's a third owner in the company, and we're not talking about partners. What was it like going from, because I imagine, unless I'm wrong, Al Shop, that wasn't necessarily partners, it was more of a family.
No.
Was this your first endeavor with a partner?
Absolutely.
Talk about that, because a lot of people are interested in how does a partnership strike up? What has it been, learning process? Any tips and tricks out there going through it?
You know, partnerships are just like anything else, right? You've got your beginning of why, and then you've got your how, and then you've got your results.
Yep.
And in that entire process, it's a learning experience, you know, and we all have particulars, things like this, visions, the whole 9 yards. The only thing I can say is that you have to have an open mind and be, you know, amicable in your process of conversations of what that final vision is. Rowing in the same direction is absolutely the most important thing. And that sometimes that takes sacrifice in doing that.
Yeah.
So it was very interesting, you know, on my end, it was amazing to have somebody else that knows the industry, has had a presence, has worked in that type of environment, and can support me for not working 300 hours a week because that's how I do it, right?
Yeah.
And it's been really, really good. We pick up, we drop off, on each other. And, the humidor speaks for itself. Our staff selection speaks for itself. I mean, as far as the bar stuff goes, I'm a professional from the side you guys sit on.
Yeah.
I can drink all day and enjoy this stuff. But you have to have people that are going to help row in that same direction and have a purpose. And
Yep.
our bartending staff, they're phenomenal.
Yeah,
You should see the stuff that just randomly, what is that? Like, I want one. Yeah, sure. Okay.
And that was one of the things I wanted to actually ask staffing wise, because obviously, everybody always says that it's hard to find good employees and good staff members, especially in, the hospitality in terms of like restaurants and things. So how did you go about finding staff members? Was it an easy process? Was it a challenging process?
It was a relatively easy process. We had connections with almost all of them in one capacity. And, you bring people in and you kind of let them know what you want to do. Mm-hmm. And then you have to maintain the talk about that, because at that point they have to be bought in, right? And then show your best and be prideful of it, and to be a part of what the overall vision is. And we have that. And so our bartenders complement each other, the hospitality of things. They're learning and evolving every day, which to me is like, proud dad type of deal, and you start to see things like you just mentioned. Fantastic.
Oh, that little thing.
Yeah.
People do not realize a little thing like that, what that does when someone, we threw a private event with you guys a couple of, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago at this point, whatever it was. And people had a blast, and it felt small and it felt intimate, and not everybody there was a cigar smoker either. So I was saying, we threw a private event there. It was awesome, a blast. I know that you've got a lot of big ideas, because now, you said this to me before, you're almost like a kid in a sandbox again. You can play. What are some of the cool things you guys have going on outside of Owl Shop? Some of the collaboration, the dinners, the partnerships, what's some opportunities you worked on and see out there?
The idea is look, you can absolutely survive and maintain and everything inside the walls of the business. But the reality is the culture needs to survive. And that's a big thing that comes and goes. Let's get rid of the elephant in the room, right? We're talking about smoking cigars. They're rolled up dead leaves. So most people don't understand it. The few that do, it's part of life, but that can come and that goes.
Yep.
So experience, that's primarily it. Get involved with the country clubs, which have private memberships, even the public stuff, do dinners, do events, promote that, like kind of live free and enjoy life lifestyle.
Yep.
And everybody thinks about golf, right? Golf's one of those 4-letter words, and it's called that because all the good ones were taken, right? But you get out on the golf course and, have a cigar, have some swing lube, enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
It's a
Actually,
day. Because
live your
nobody
life.
actually, and when you think about golf in general, right? Like, you get a couple good shots, like, great, I'm coming back, you know? So it's about everything else, the camaraderie, the relationships, all of that. So you have to expand that out, reach for that. So we've got some cool stuff that we're getting involved in, primarily out of the home base, but do some dinners. There's nothing better than sitting down with a big fat piece of meat and a cigar and some good quality drinks and great company.
Yep.
Feels like old times, right? Kind of hit pause, which is the theme. So we're getting into a lot of that. And then just waiting to see what you come up with, buddy, because I know you've been.
We got a couple of things cooking. We'll be talking about those. We got a couple interesting things in the hopper that we're not necessarily ready to disclose yet, but there'll be some exciting stuff coming.
Well,
all right, I'm going to take it to cigars for a second, because I got you here and I can selfishly ask all of these questions.
Yep.
Just out of curiosity, and Matt, if you got something to rattle off too. Zach didn't know who's going on the hot seat today, but I've been waiting some of this.
I am not a cigar fan. This is the best part.
Yeah, you get to sit back and enjoy.
As Zach was saying, I just kind of hang out and I smoke cigars. You actually nerd out about specific cigars and where they come from and all that. I like hearing about it, but
I love the unicorn hunting aspect of it. Like I was saying the other day,
you used to do that with bourbon too.
Oh yeah, it's the same thing. We would nerd out. I was bringing some stuff in to the locker. Shout out to Jeff Gain, gifted me an entire box of the what is it, the Oso Blanco
Yeah,
Davidoff,
Oros.
which I said, I don't know if my wife likes me that much when I saw what that cost. So shout out to Jeff. He'll be back on the podcast here in a couple of weeks. But what right now, we're going to do just some random questions, put you on the spot to test your knowledge. All right. Because everyone says, oh, cigars are so expensive, yada, yada, yada. Best, your go-to, not best, because it's personal preference, your go-to under $12 cigar.
Oh, man. All right, so I'm going to interrupt your question.
Oh, look at he's already pivoting. He's nervous. He doesn't want to offend the different vendors. That's what he's thinking about.
I didn't get where I'm at because I can't sell, right? No, it's one of those things. People ask me the favorite cigar, right?
Yeah.
And the way I go ahead and put it is the next one.
Yeah.
Okay. You've had your favorites, right? Mm-hmm. And before you had that favorite, you had a different favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the reality is any cigar, and you have to try them all. It's the mood, it's the day, it's the people, it's the weather, did you have milk? Like there are 10 million different factors that can roll in. We have a really, really very well sorted and curated selection. We're not too heavy in any type of branding. We like the variety. We cram a very small space with an awful lot of inventory to the point where you almost don't notice how many options are in there. Mm-hmm. In that $12 range, though, man, you could close your eyes and point.
Yeah.
Everything that we represent in there is going to be sufficient. We have catch-alls. We have house blends that, have been produced that are designed to be everyday, all-day smokes. And you can get into these things for like $6 to $7. Light them up.
There's a 6 to 7. I didn't even know those things still existed.
They do. And to be honest, you'd be extremely surprised at like, wow, oh my God. The American market and, for cigar sales is extremely competitive.
Yeah.
And it has been that way for a very long time. These companies have to produce quality product. They're like in a death cage match with each other for the next best thing, and you have to do it great every time.
Well, they also, and that was a masterclass in sales, by the way. Did you notice how he didn't offend anybody? He actually promoted everything they sell.
Very political.
You guys should go back, watch that 3 times because you could sell anything.
Look, the bottom line is we don't sell any bad cigars. They're all great.
Jesus. That is something, though, that what I've been told, as people have dabbled in the industry, I do believe it's kind of like this hard kind of song and dance where some lines, I've been told you have to carry a certain amount or give them a certain amount of shelf space. But then you also, as the owner, like you're trying to maximize your humidor. As someone who may or may not be putting a walk-in humidor in a house he's building right now, how do you manage all that? I mean, because you guys, again, you just got to go to the owl shop in Windham and check it out. This is one of the prettiest designed humidors, even the little details like the roll-around ladder, the wood shelving all the way up. Yeah. It does feel so much bigger than what it is, and it's just beautifully done. But how do you, because I got to imagine everyone, it's a give and a take with all those different vendors, right, to kind of manage that?
So, you talked about partnerships earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, partnerships, a give and take. Now, at the same time, you have cigar companies. They go ahead, they produce the product, they put their name on it. They sell it to me, they make all their money, and then I'm supposed to carry the torch and chase my money back and promote it with our brand. So in my training days of boot camp, in Massachusetts, where you have high taxes and all this, you partner with brands, you represent them, you sell them. Unfortunately, you can go 30 minutes away to New Hampshire and get this stuff substantially cheaper. So there's a competition aspect there.
Let's explain that real quick because people might not know, because I don't think people realize how crazy the taxes are state by state in tobacco. Can you just talk about Mass, New Hampshire real quick?
Yeah, so effectively, every cigar that gets sold has a federal tax built in. Now we got tariffs too, right?
I didn't even think of that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
The tariffs impact the cigar industry?
Yeah, but it's negligible.
Yeah.
Okay, in the grand scheme of things, a lot of companies caught back up onto pricing where they should be. The real thing will be when it dissipates or goes away.
Does it go back down?
It shouldn't go back down, but it should hold for that next increase of product materials cost. It's a natural occurrence. You can't prevent it. So that comes into effect. So technically, your wholesale cost, it has the price of the federal tax built in. Then you've got the tariffs now, and then a state like Massachusetts by the time it got to my door, there was a 40% tax of the wholesale levied on it.
Oh.
And then most companies typically are charging anywhere from like 3 to 5% of invoice on shipping. So $10,000 order could run me $400 in shipping. Now, I've never parlayed that to the consumer because it's a cost of doing business. But at that point, you'd have the 40% on top of the wholesale. So taxing a tax. Then we add our margin in, put it on the shelf. You see the price. Michael walks in one day, happy, ready to get a cigar, bring it up to the register. Bam, 6.25% sales tax.
Oh my God.
So taxing a tax, taxing another tax. Meanwhile,
And
up
the
here,
state is still broke. Imagine that.
it's one of those things. But that's what gets me to go ahead and take behind the woodshed a 76-year-old institution, put a bullet in its head, and like start life completely over. Because you come to New Hampshire, you have your federal tax built into the wholesale pricing. You have your shipping costs, whatever. It shows up, game over. That's the end of it. No wholesale, no sales tax, no nothing. Live free or die, cowboys and Indians, right?
I love it.
Nice.
It's good stuff.
I love it.
So that has a major effect in that process. So going back to how we started this conversation, you help me out with that.
Yeah. Well, where I'm going with that is I was asking about people understanding again the cost and everything going in to build up your humidors and making that partnership.
Right.
Where you've got them coming in, because I know you have a bit of a reputation and Sean had a bit of a reputation, fortunately. But I'm talking to that guy. Say you're that guy out in Nebraska. I got some buddies out there. They like cigars. They say, hey, I want to open a tobacco shop.
Right.
I don't think people realize
It's
you don't just
brutal.
open a cigar shop and suddenly the tobacco makers show up. It's a partnership.
And to circle back on that, so you partner with these brands. When it came time, after going through this whole experience before and starting over, I said to myself, we're selling your brand for you.
Yeah.
And we're doing it on our dime, and we're going to be dictated what we have to carry. Okay, tell you what, let's change this up. Do you want to be partnered with us, or are you asking us to partner with you? And the reality of that is you guys manufacture, put your brand names on this, but maybe you're direct to consumer, maybe you're not, most aren't. So you need people like us. So for me, if it's a situation of the fact that, there's some requirements and stipulations, it's like, okay, that's great. Have a nice day. And you know what? I've been in the industry since diapers. I got plenty of people to call to have whatever it is that I'd like to sell because the consumer demands it. Whether you want to get on board with your policies or not, most of the stuff I still have on the shelf.
Yeah.
And at that point, I can carry exactly what I want and provide more opportunity for the stuff that we can deliver to people that it's uncommon product, so to speak.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so extensive in there.
That does make a ton of good sense where it goes there. And I also think the thing that I'm seeing, and I don't know if you can quantify this via data, but I know something we talked about. We're seeing, even when we do events here, again, I'm calling it a cigar resurgence. I don't have a way to quantify it beyond what I'm seeing in social circles, at events, but it seems like cigars are becoming part of a bespoke experience again. The younger generations are waking up to it, and I don't know if that's because legislation's gone so far against it, it makes people just elastic back. I don't know. Are you guys seeing anything on your end? Are you seeing a bit of a resurgence of a younger demographic coming back? Has that trickled into the owl shop at all?
Yeah, so we've definitely gone ahead and seen that. And, what's going on, there's so many different little anomalies based upon, the cocktails and this and that, the atmosphere, the location, the ventilation system, the space itself. But what we're noticing with that is something that disappeared a few years ago in the social aspect. COVID was like a torpedo to this industry because of the fact that you had your guys that would enjoy cigars and hang out and have conversations, and 5 o'clock, going down, gonna see the boys, go home, go dinner, those types of things. It torpedoed it all because now we're supposed to not be near each other. And mind you, Massachusetts was
In
cold.
Massachusetts, it was like that. Up here, we didn't have those problems.
Very, very different.
That's a good point. I never even thought about that.
So
Because
when
we didn't conform. We didn't deal with it, and he was in the eye of the
heart,
storm,
exactly.
down there.
So with
Hakushu and Healy the thief and all them people. Yeah.
It's a difficult situation. So now all of a sudden, you know, if you're an individual like cigars, maybe you don't have a whole lot of friends who smoke cigars. I mean, to be honest with you, most of my close friends don't at all. So it's
I
one
conformed
of
a
those
lot
things.
of mine, but still there's a bunch you don't. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and so at that point, you're back into like a social environment.
Yeah.
You know, 9 times out of 10, somebody walks into our place solo, and we were talking about it last night, and next thing you know, we're like, oh, look who's hanging out with who, and like this cross pollination starts off as a tree. You start to see these branches grow.
Yep.
And then before you know it, you realize you just have this like giant hedge, and everybody's connected, and we're hanging out, we're talking the whole 9 yards. So the social aspect of that, I think, is realistically what drives that.
That makes sense.
You know, cigar shops, when you think about it, they're kind of similar to like an elevator, right?
Yeah.
You walk into an elevator, somebody's in there, you make eye contact, say, how you doing, what floor, and like put your head down and like, have a good day, right? That's the end of it. You walk into this confined space with random people that you don't know, except you can sit and have a conversation and evolve. And that's, I think, where the resurgence comes from. I don't think it's a fad thing. You know, it's not getting
That social
TikTok time.
construct. Yeah.
It's just like people healing and being human.
I love it.
In-person, face-to-face conversations
and that
as opposed to being
relaxation
online.
of that time out. And, you know, going out and having a couple of drinks and, you know, a cigar from $6 to $100+ in our humidor. Like, it's up to you. Do what you want to do.
And what we love is, again, like we bring, and for all the real estate investors out there, anyone raising capital, it's a very unique thing to build a relationship with your investors and partners and prospect. It's something different. It's a place, again, like I said, one, you can use as a business evaluation tool, but it's also the type of experience where the need that they really filled for us selfishly that I was alluding to was it gave us a place to bring capital partners, to bring investors, to have a space that's very high end, very classy when you walk in. I mean, I know we've leveraged that a bunch already. We'll continue to do so. And it fills a need. And if you're a budding real estate investor, and like Zach said, if you're not going to get great at golf, I would focus on probably getting into cigars or something else. Like, just, again, probably selfishly here.
Specifically in Windham.
Yeah, in Windham.
Well, I was going to say too, like for us, bringing people there, it allows you, to your point, the conversation. If you go to dinner with someone, you do have the time to talk, but it's also hard because you have the waitress continuing to come over all the time to check on you. So that's always breaking up the conversation. Then you're actually trying to eat. So that's making it very hard for you to actually have a conversation. With a cigar, it's easy. You take a puff, you can continue your conversation nice and easy. So to me, that's why I like the cigars. It's easy to have those conversations without having so much interruptions.
Yeah, and staying with that, and it's like we said in the last episode, I'm sure Zach agrees. One thing, especially when you're a founder, you're a CEO, you're an entrepreneur, whatever it is, you need time to think. And ultimately what these do for me, truly, is they slow me down and they give me time to think. And a lot of our best ideas, a lot of the ideas that have propelled Commonwealth Collective forward have come from forcing me to slow down. And a lot of times, I mean, I'll go to a cigar shop by myself just to sit and have coffee and get away from the world for 2 hours, where I'm just in my own head gaming out, okay, how are we going to find a couple $1 million for this deal? Or how are we going to execute this refi? How are we going to execute this business plan? What hire are we going to make? Okay, asking bigger questions, right? So when you guys are asking for a superpower, it's that kind of opportunity, and it goes back to curating the environment. It goes back to everything that's there. So we love it. Thank you for being there. We're going to do a lot together.
Oh, side note too, they added the nice side patio out there too for the summertime,
Okay.
which is awesome.
Was that patio always here? Did you guys pour that?
No, it's been there, but your eyes are looking for the candy that's
I
inside.
can't.
So.
I swear to God. All right, true story. Sidebar. I come back. I've been gone again for, I don't know, it was a month or whatever the hell it was. And I pull up, and I see all the tables and chairs out there.
Yeah.
And I go, either I'm blind, or they actually poured a whole cement patio while I was gone in 4 weeks and furnished it. Because I do not remember that being there.
Yeah,
but that is amazing.
But it looks awesome.
We've had, you know, things have been calculated, right? You have to see what you want to do, make some moves, and find that. Sometimes it doesn't always fit.
Yeah.
we got really lucky that that space was available. You know, I tend to benefit the most for it. I got a 7-minute ride to work with no traffic lights. It's like awesome, right?
Yeah.
But right off the highway, busy intersection, the whole 9 yards. We knew we outgrew that space before we opened.
Yep.
But the difference is that space is small but mighty. The patio gives us another 20 plus seats out there. Gives the opportunity for people that, even with our great ventilation system like Hannah and whatnot, that might want to go and have some pistachio martinis or
Yeah, we can
whatever
sit
in the
outside.
kitchen. Yeah, like
Now we just need the bromine heaters out there. We'll be all set to go.
look, if you need a heater today, man, you got bigger problems, right?
For my wife Amy, like when it's summertime, she wants to be outside. Like she doesn't want to
Everybody
be
does.
inside. So
100%.
a couple of weeks ago, we actually had dinner, and I was like, "Oh, you want to go do one more?" She was like, "Yeah, of course I want to do one more." I was like, "You want to go to Rhino's? Like, I have an outdoor patio now. We can go test it out." She goes, "Yeah, let's
I
go."
actually saw you share the story.
So,
That was
yeah.
awesome. And that's
Great.
actually when I first saw it. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, because he had told me you guys were thinking about doing it, but I'm telling you, I totally forgot that.
Yep.
You could have bet me $1 billion. I would have bet like that wasn't there before, which is so
No, it
sad.
wasn't. It took a little creative planning and you
Yeah.
know whatnot. But what's nice is it effectively gives us an extra 50% capacity of the inside of the place. Comfortably, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, we're gonna have a whole lot of fun with it. We've got
Oh, yeah.
plenty of fun plans. Get some music going or something some night soon. As soon as it's not like 98 degrees.
Yeah,
at
we're all
8 o'clock,
melting our faces off right now
Exactly.
going with it. It's terrible. And that's where I disagree. When it's this hot, I like to be inside with a nice AC.
Well, this week, yeah, it's a different story.
Pale
but
ball
that,
ginger
that,
over here, okay? I
that
don't got
night,
those kind of sun
That
problems,
night, the
okay?
sun was going down. It was a great view. It was like high 70s. It was perfect.
I love it. All right, Zach, official address, name, online. Where can people find out and learn more about you?
Yeah, so you can check out our website. It's got our bar menu and everything on there, owlshop.com. Located in Windham, New Hampshire, Rhino Cigar Lounge by Owl Shop Tobacconists, 2 Sharma Way.
And Michael Ketchen's go-to cigar shop. As always, he's Matthew Hitchcock. I'm Michael Ketchen. Bet on yourself.